Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Roblox reaction. Today we have I'm Your Captain Now. Plenty of people have been asking for this in individual comments, but this comment had a bunch of likes on it as well, so I'm going to be getting to this one today. I'm actually aware of the recovery system as like an artist because I recently just did a video on a David Johnson Kim Wuthering Waves fan song in which he sang on, so I'm kind of aware of what his sound is, but I don't think that that's the vibe a Roblox game like this would be going for. I've also talked about other things in the Block Tales world before, and I have a few videos that are still members only that'll be going public in about a week or two. So if you're not already a member or on my Patreon, you can see those if you want to early, or you could just wait out the time that it takes for them to go public. But I will be listening to this one today, and without further ado, let's go! Okay, maybe it is gonna be this heavy. Metal build-up. An open hi-hat right out the gate, okay. Starting real aggressive. Yeah, okay. I didn't know if he was gonna go like more melodic with it. But no, we're going for the headbanger roars right off the bat. All right. A little bit of synth in there. Can't forget the vibe of the game, you know? Vocals just as good as I remember. He does great growls. Such a good fry tone. Really having fun with the build-ups. Some of my personal favorite things too. Just as a drummer, they're really fun. Ooh. Now we're going a little bit more melodic. Nice. I might have to do this on like a drum short. Play a little bit of it or something. The fun drum part. Well balanced. Hell yeah. I'll wait for the music theory stuff till afterwards. But he's doing the thing that I love. Oh, great fill. Great spot to put it. Him sitting on those the toms for that one spot is kind of creative. Just as accents instead of just going back to the usual snare and cymbal thing that most people probably would. And like tasteful use of a double pedal there too. You never see that. When people put in double pedal, they tend to overput double pedal. But that was just that one spot. Great accentual moment. perfect addition. It's rare to see that done these days, honestly, from any band. So now it's time for me to get a little bit nerdy with this one. I hadn't heard something that was specifically from the Recovery System until now because I'd only ever heard him sing. And while he did great vocals on that song with David, this is completely different. The feel is different. You can tell it's a different person composing it all together. That thing I was alluding to in the song that I was going to get all nerdy about later is the whole concept of Phrygian dominant and using that in the music theory to approach how that song, especially in that solo in the middle was. That's pretty much, I believe, what he was doing because it had a lot of similarities with that. The Egyptian scale, for those who want to simplify it a little bit, even though it's not exactly, I'm not going to get into that deep. The factor is he's abusing the system, basically. So this happens a lot, but the song, I believe, is in G flat, which would totally make sense given the chords used, but not entirely, because I feel like he's using a lot of like whole chords and keys in here, like D. I'm pretty sure I heard at least one D and maybe another one like E or something was in there. I'm not that great at picking those out, but I feel like those were in there. And those are not part of G flat as a key. Those would be part of their relative minor. So it's like, okay, now we have this other key in here. And again, this is done pretty commonly where you would take the main key you want to write in, but then borrow some stuff from the relative minor or another key that's a sister or brother of it and just kind of work off of those. And you're able to bridge those by using chords that are shared and will shift into those other ones naturally. Like, for example, if you had a C flat or something in both of them, you would be able to shift from one key to the other, use some of the chords in there, and then use another one to shift back. It's a pretty basic concept, all things considered, but it is so useful when writing a song because you're able to utilize more chords, and instead of making something in just one key that sounds fine, you can expand the emotional depth of the song by allowing yourself to use more emotional chords and vary those out. So songs that have a lot of flats are going to sound a little bit more sad, but for a song like this that has more whole chords that are not flats or sharps, what the nerds of the world would call a natural chord, you're getting more variety there by allowing some more happiness and brightness into the sound. So you're not just getting something that's entirely depressing or entirely like melancholic or just in general a lower vibe. You're getting something that has a little bit more of a brightness to it, much like this one does. That's really all I can get into on the music theory without getting too deep into it, so that's a broad overview, but I love that he did that. I love that he was paying attention to it. You can tell this guy is trained. This guy has some background for sure. He's able to handle that very gracefully and he knows exactly where to place things, and that gets even deeper when you get into the individual instruments, which of course mine being the drums. He did a great job balancing the drums, which like I said near the end of the reaction is pretty uncommon, unfortunately. A lot of drummers just don't know what they're doing exactly, and I'm not saying that as somebody who knows better and went to school for it. I didn't. I'm entirely self-taught, but at the same time, when you approach drums from a musical perspective instead of just boom bam hit sticks like most drummers do, you get a different vibe from the person composing them. For the Recovery System, you can tell that he has some musicality behind the drums, and every single piece is placed at a specific point for a specific reason. There's not a bunch of random fills or a bunch of accent stuff on the cymbals that doesn't need to be there. There is some of that, but it's very well placed. It's properly spaced out in the song. Things like patterning up the double pedal with some really fun patterns in there. I thought those were really good. And then that one spot at the end where he just went ham on both of them for a short second, but he did it for a short second instead of masking musical incompetence with just general technical skill, which you can have both. You can have one or the other, and I wouldn't necessarily say one is better than the other in the broad scope of things, but you can definitely tell when somebody knows what they're doing behind a kit versus somebody who's just kind of throwing shit out there because it's what sounds cool. You know, it's a completely different vibe, and you can tell that Recovery System knows where to place things for good accents, for good feel, just to keep you locked into the song. The guitars and everything were great. Those aren't my instruments, so I can't really say the technicalities of exactly what was going on well there versus not maybe, but it sounded great to me, so I think that works out perfectly fine. And this is just an extra thing, another little thing I noticed about him that I didn't realize with the last song I had heard, but is it just me, or does he sound kind of like Kellen Quinn and and Wolfgang Van Halen kind of had a child. Like, he's got this higher vocal tone that Wolfgang can't really get to, but he's got that rocker grit, that punk rock grit that Wolfgang has, that they're using it in metal, and it sounds fantastic. Obviously, he can do the screams a lot more like Kellen can, where it's like, you take, if Wolfgang could do screams, it would probably sound like if Kellen could do Wolfgang's thing. I'm probably cherry picking that a little bit just based off the songs I've heard from both of them, but it feels right, you know, like the vibe is there. He has a Wolfgang feel to him as far as like the musical writing goes, which is a great thing. Wolfgang has some awesome real rock metal songs that are just here to kick ass. It's rock, just in its purest form. And that's what I'm getting from the Recovery System's composition here. Despite all of the other technical stuff I could get into, what it is a really fucking good rock song. Obviously, it's definitely skewed more in the metal direction, and that's perfectly chill by me. I love all of the genres, including metal. It's one of the ones that started getting me into what I do now, but the point is still there. An amazing composer, a great song. I see why people wanted me to get to this one. This is some hard shit, and I really like it. But I have been yapping for a while, so I will call it here. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this and want to request something else from Roblox or something else from the Recovery System even, by all means, drop it in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!